Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, January 18th. It is 6:19 right now. Market's going to open in about 11 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, Zoom link is sent out. Man, what's up with my copy button today? Let me fix this. There we go. All right. So I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And as people join in, I'm going to start marking liquidity over here on the daily chart. So we'll start off with the daily here. There. Go down to the 8-hour. Go down to the 4-hour. Go down to the 2-hour. Going down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Nothing there. Going down to the 15-minute. One right there, color that red. Right there and there. Going down to the 10-minute. Got about 3 liquidity levels right there. And I think that's it. We have one over here. Let's see if I can zoom over here real quick. Or 2 actually. They're pretty high up, so I'm not expecting price to get this high, but it's good to have an idea. So, all right, there goes liquidity right here on the 10-minute, pretty much from the daily down to the 1-minute. Closest level of liquidity is going to be up here at 37,425. That's going to be a 10-minute liquidity. And then we have another one down here at 37,362. So good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, January 18th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. We have liquidity right here marked up. I'm going to take a look at what the bias is looking like with regard to the trend. So it's pretty much mixed for the most part. Let me check London session real quick. No, it's pretty mixed. Okay, so I was trying to see if there was like a direction. If we had like a strong bias in one direction, then we can start marking up like some 1-minute liquidity because odds of price correcting in that direction are very likely. But looking at current price over here, it looks like it could be bearish, but there's no telling exactly where it would be. So if anything, if price decides to climb up, so this is what I'll do. We have liquidity marked up here already, but if price decides to climb up further, then we can draw some liquidity on the downside because odds of it coming back down are very likely. If price decides to climb up and then swing back down at a later time. So we'll do that. But all right, guys, let's see who's here so far. Morning, Søren, morning, William, morning, Kenny, morning, Daniel, morning, everybody. Going over here to our clean chart, I'm going to mark up 6:30, mark up 8 o'clock, see if there's structure here for us to mark up. So we got structure up there. It's pretty far away. Not expecting price to get there. It's a 4-hour support and resistance. Going over here to the 1 hour, we have another resistance right here. All right, so you can see over here on the 1 hour, price is just ranging. So price has pretty much been ranging since Tuesday. So on the 1 hour time frame, price is just going back and forth. It's in a heavy range. That's kind of what's been happening all week. So if you guys remember, this entire week, price has pretty much been ranging even on the 1 minute. So on the higher time frame here, 1 hour, you can see price is just ranging. Pretty much no difference there. And we'll see what happens here when market opens. But for the most part, you can see that price, even right here on the 1 minute, you can see price is pretty much ranging at the moment. So, all right, up here, this is the 1 hour resistance. 1 hour resistance level. And then down here, we have the 4-hour support level. Super simple, super straightforward. Price is currently rejecting off the 4-hour support. So we'll see if price bounces from here. But I mean, we'll see what market opens. We're not going to predict anything here. We're just going to see what market gives us, and then we'll go from there. Looking over here at the news for today, we had Fed speaking at 4:30 this morning, Fed Bostic. 5:30, we had building permits, housing starts month over month, building permits month over month, continuous jobless claims, initial jobless claims for the 4-week average, Philadelphia Fed manufacturing index, Philly Fed business conditions, etc. We had a lot of news here at 5:30, as you guys can see. Majority of the news was positive, so that's a good thing. And if you guys took the news correction this morning, a lot of you guys did. So a lot of you guys messaged me this morning with the news correction moves, and you guys made some pretty good money off that. So nice work to whoever caught those moves there. Looking over here on the chart, you can see how price came down right here at 5:30, and then you can see the V1 patterns right here. I think some of you guys entered the V1 pattern right there, and then you wrote it back up for the correction to the upside. This is a trade that a lot of people took. So news happened right here at 5:30. Price was manipulated to the downside. There's actually 2 areas of entry. There's one right here, and there's one right there. So you could have taken basically any of these entries right here, and it would have hit your TP regardless. So I wasn't trading at that time. I don't like to trade pre-market, but for you guys who were, you guys can see there was that, if you guys remember the breakout correction, or not the breakout, the news correction strategy, where news happened right here at 5:30, price came down, news was positive. So as soon as a V1 pattern came up right here, some of you guys entered that buy, held on to it, wrote it up. There's 2 opportunities right there. So nice work. I think Søren took it, and I think Maddie caught a couple too. So Søren over here posted his profits. He's currently at 468 for the day. So nice work, Søren. I'll put that in the team profits over here. Søren's profits for the day. He entered a couple entries right there at those correction points. So we had news at 5:30, and that's pretty much it. We have more news at 7:30. So 5:30 was news, and then 7:30, I believe. Yep, 5:30 and 7:30 right there. $5:30 and 7:30 right here. Let's see. Albert's asking, is there a video on the news correction strategy? Well, not really, because it's not really a strategy that's like that has really been tested. It's just something that we noticed, so like, because it doesn't happen very often, Albert. So like, for example, at 5:30, if the news is all positive here, you're expecting price to go up, right? So at 5:30 right here, price did the opposite. So you're kind of looking for price to be manipulated. Like you're looking for price to come down. And then what you're looking for is when price is coming down, you're looking for the correction back to the upside, right? So you're just looking for like a V1 pattern, like a double body, double wick. And you can see right there, double body, you could have entered right there. And same with this right here. Same pattern. It's just you're looking for a reversal back to the upside for correction. So we don't have an actual video for that because I haven't really like dug into it. Eventually, we'll probably do that. There's just not enough. We don't have enough data on it for me to create an actual strategy. But if you want, it's like a speculative type strategy. You're just looking for price to basically correct back to where it's supposed to go. And if you want to look at it, there's a ton of different reversal patterns, but I think the V1s are the easiest to see. But yeah, eventually, once we have enough data on it, I'll create a video and we'll be able to follow it. I just don't want to create something and then it's not like a good strategy, right? So I know a lot of people just like go off my analysis, and that's kind of what people do at the moment. All right, so it looks like liquidity down below just got wiped out. So there goes the liquidity that I marked up right here, guys. Full TP, if anybody caught that. Next level below, full TP as well. And it looks like it's climbing down to the lower level. I would be careful with taking these liquidity pushes though. Just be careful because, this could be manipulation. Like I said earlier, I think price will come down. I was hoping price was going to get manipulated up first and then come back down. This is what I was looking for, but it just ended up getting wiped out immediately here on open. So if you guys took that there, solid work. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. This isn't the type of entry that I'm personally looking for. So, I'm looking for quality entries. These are good entries, but they're not quality in my opinion because they're risky, especially if you're taking them on open. So if you guys took it, great work. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. I did not take these trades, so they're not going to count as official entries. The only official entries are going to be the ones that I actually take. So price is rejecting off the 4-hour support right here. Price might be climbing right back up from this point here. So we'll see what happens after this, but price is currently at the 4-hour support. If anything, price might correct back to opening price. So I'm going to go and put this right here. This is opening price, the blue line. If it ends up correcting back up, that's going to be the target price point. So if it ends up climbing back up from here, target price point is going to be opening price right there for whoever wants to hold it to that correction. I don't see a V1 pattern over here. So I don't know if there's really opportunity there to really climb up, but we could possibly get like a V1 or a breakout V3 continuation, but there's no confluence. So either way, I wouldn't take it myself personally. And it's right at the session. So you guys can see, this is why we don't trade at the sessions. You guys can see how manipulation can happen right here. And that's exactly what's happening at this point. Price came down, got stuck right here at the sessions, and now it's getting pushed right back up. Another reason and reminder why we don't trade at these sessions. I mean, you can trade at the sessions, but you're kind of just running the risk if you do trade at the sessions like that. And there's no need to risk, right? I mean, it's just not worth it. Unless you're trading with like a super high RR, then, you can take that risk, eat the loss, and then take another risk. But I'd rather stick to the quality entries. Yeah, Maddie said with extra confluences and in line with pivots, V1 to the V3 would be nice back to open. Yeah, exactly, Maddie. If I had a V1 pattern right here, and then I had a breakout V3 continuation, I would have been perfectly fine taking that. But you guys can see over here, it's not really looking like that. So here's one thing that I'm going to be looking at, guys, so we don't get caught in the trap that we got caught in yesterday. So I'm going to be looking at the 1-minute trend. So yesterday we took a breakout V3 continuation against the trend, and we got caught in a fake out, right? So we've already gotten caught in that trap. So when we figure out traps like that get set up like earlier this week, we already know in the future, okay, this is what we're going to be watching out for, right? We're going to be careful for these types of trades because usually the first couple of days of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, we didn't have trading on Monday, but Monday, Tuesday will typically give you a hint of, okay, this is probably what's going to happen along the week, because it gives you a preview of what's going to continue happening. So we had a ranging market Monday, we had a ranging market Tuesday, Wednesday. Today's Thursday. I'm expecting market to kind of range here again. So to make sure that I don't get caught in fake outs or being on the wrong side of the market, we'll be looking for trades only in the direction of the trend here on the 1 minute. So the bias is still going to be useful, but I'm not going to pay too much attention to that. I'm going to be looking at the trend here. So specifically the pivots, like Maddie just mentioned. Exactly. Yeah. So Maddie said pivots are key. This is how you learn from losses. Yeah. Because what happened yesterday is we took a loss for a sell, but then we took a buy right after and we won that buy, right? So we took a trade against the trend, lost, took a trade with the trend and won. So obviously, what does that tell you? Take trades with the trend this week because, well, the trend on the 1 minute, because that's typically where price is going to likely continue. Because you're going to get caught in fake outs. Like, especially during a ranging market, price is going to push up, it's going to range, push down, it's going to range, push up, it's going to range. But what you want to do is you want to be caught, you don't want to be caught in the middle, right? You want to be caught at these points here. So that's why we're going to be able to look for that stuff for this session and pretty much for the rest of the week. Because what happened yesterday is we got caught in the middle right here, right? We got caught in the middle, we got faked out, and then we took the trade down here, and we won the trade. So it's just a matter of adapting to the market. I feel like, that's like one of the biggest skills that people don't have. They're too linear. They don't know how to adapt with the market. People don't know how to like make small changes just to improve their strategy for that specific week. Because what happens with a lot of people is the market will change. Like it'll go from trending to ranging, and then people don't know what to do. They just end up losing a bunch of trades. And really, it's just making a small adjustment like this. Like, okay, we have to look at the 1 minute trend because the 1 minute trend is going to make all the difference. But yeah, other than that, we will continue to see where this goes. Let's see. Patricia's asking, anyone having server FTMO server 2? Candles are not moving. I'm on just regular server right now, Patricia, so I can't really say, sorry. I don't know if anybody's on server 2. Patricia said the candles are super delayed on server 2. Yeah, I'm on just server right now. I think Gion's on server 3. Sir, are you on server 2? Sir, same here. I'm not sure if he's talking to me or talking to Patricia, but okay. Yeah, so Camo said he's on server 2 and it's moving fine for him. CERN said he's on server 2. I'm not sure if yours is laggy. I'm assuming yours is laggy, right, CERN? Let me see. I'm gonna look at my charts real quick and see where I'm moving. Yeah, it's fine on my end. I'm on server, just FTMO/server. The trend right now is currently bearish, guys. So just a heads up. The trend right now is currently bearish. The reason why it's bearish is because price is below the pivots. The pivots are angling down. Mainly, you want to look at the red pivot. So level 4 pivots where you want to put your focus on because that's going to be the strongest pivot where it's going to be lagging. Every other pivot's going to be moving faster. The green one's going to be the fastest. Pivot 1's fastest. They go in levels. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fastest, second fastest, third fastest, lowest. So basically, you want to see where everything is with regard to the red pivot. If price is below the red pivot and all the other pivots are below, then the trend is going to be to the downside. If it's the opposite, price is above the red pivot and all the other pivots are above as well, that's going to be indicating that price is bullish or the trend is bullish. So just a heads up. So for me personally, I'm going to be looking for a sell here because the trend's bearish. And like I mentioned, because of this week, we've kind of learned that, we have to stick to the 1 minute trend because the trend's always shifting. It's shifting up, it's shifting down, shifting up, shifting down. So right now, price is currently I'm sorry, I just read Maddie's message. The price is currently trending to the downside. So what I'm looking for here personally is I'm looking for price to push up. Give me a V1 pattern right here, come back down, right? Or if you guys remembered yesterday, I showed you guys it's like an M pattern. I'm looking for this to happen. Right, I'm looking for that M pattern right there. Double top rejection with a double body, and then I'm going to take that for a sell. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for that, or I'm looking for price to come back up, provide another V1 pattern right here, and then come back down. So I'm looking for either an M pattern like that with my V1 variations, or I'm going to be looking for something like that, right? Basically the two patterns I'm looking for to play out right here. We're going to use my indicators to confirm that, but for the most part, that's kind of what we're looking for. Yeah, exactly. So Maddie said V1 off that structure would be nice. It's all about patience. Let the market do its thing and set up. No need to force or look so hard. Yeah, exactly. I'm just chilling, guys. There's no need to force anything here, right? Just remember that. There's a breakout V3 continuation setting up right here, but it's going to be right at the session. So that's why I don't really care for any entries down here. I want price to actually push up higher. Give me that rejection, come back down. I want to take my entry up here. This right here is risky because this is where manipulation happens. So I don't care if anything happens right here. I'm not going to take it. I'm looking for this here to, pretty much play through. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said back to the fundamentals of K2. Yeah, just got to keep it simple, guys. There's no need to overcomplicate it. I know sometimes I introduce the bias to you guys because it's helpful, but the bias isn't always necessary because we're only trading within a set period of time. So the bias is helpful because it's going to give you more confluences, but it's not always necessary. If you have a trend, like right now, for example, the trend's bearish, so you already have a direction here. And if the trend's bearish, likely the fundamentals are bearish too, right? I haven't even looked at the fundamentals. I'm gonna look at the fundamentals right now, and I can almost guarantee you, I'll take a bet with you guys. Like if anybody wanted to bet me that the fundamentals are bearish, I would take that bet, and I'll easily click on CNBC over here. I'll refresh this, and you'll see that it is bearish right there, right? It's down 91 points. You can align the trend with the fundamentals. So if the trend is all bearish, like on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, you can already assume that the fundamentals are going to be bearish. And you can see right there that they are bearish. This is where it gets a little tricky because when you factor in retail sentiment, it shows that it's currently 71% short, right? It doesn't show that all the retail traders are on the sell side, but it shows that there's a lot. So when you see something like this, you typically don't want to trade in that direction. But since we're scalping, it doesn't really matter too much. This is more of a long-term direction. So, you guys just want to keep that in mind. It's always key to just keep things as simple as possible. But obviously, if you have the bias, it's going to be a lot better, right? You could have a lot of confluences. You could have a few confluences. It just depends on how many you have. The more you have, the better. But it's not always going to be necessary. So we have a breakout V3 continuation right here. The only problem is that it's right at the session. So like I said earlier, guys, I'm not going to take this trade. Unfortunately, it's just around this area. And we'll see, if price drops and dumps from this area. We'll see if there's a retracement, pullback, and then look for the move after that. So, all right, so this would be the breakout V3 continuation right here. Like I mentioned, guys, I'm not taking the trade because it's right at the sessions. This is an area of manipulation. You can see it's really close to its TP, but this can easily fake out and go back up. But I think this will probably hit TP. Let me go back real quick. Sorry, guys. I think this will probably kind of mess around this area, probably hit TP eventually, and then go back up. It's just not a good area to trade in. I would never trade around the sessions. It's the whole reason why I created that indicator to prevent getting caught in the sessions like that. So this could also be setting up for a high-low scalp V2. That's another thing that you guys can look for there. If you guys are looking for it, possible high-low scalp V2. Price could break below it, fake out above, come back down, and then take that tumble back to the downside. Not a good area to trade in though. So like I said, see the drawing that I drew right here? It's doing exactly what I drew here, right? It said price is going to probably screw around this area. Eventually it'll probably hit CP and then it'll probably swing back up. So you guys can see my messy drawing right here. I did that on purpose because I had a feeling this is what was going to happen. It's going to be a messy move back and forth, right? This is nothing new, guys. Like, a lot of these patterns that we see on the market, we've seen them before. We've seen the fake outs. We've seen like price kind of go really close to your stop loss and then come straight down. Like this isn't something new to us. It's nothing new to anybody, really. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have gotten caught in a position like that. Especially with Camo. So Camo's here right now. That's like one of his problems. Well, not it was one of his problems that he didn't realize. Like he would take trades and price would reverse on him. And he's like, why does price reverse at that point? As soon as I showed him the sessions, he's like, damn, every time the price reversed, it was right at the sessions. So that's why it kind of gives you that understanding. Okay, I should probably skip trades around this point. And you can see right there, our price went down. It did exactly what I drew right here, right? You guys can see my arrows. I drew this before it even happened. I said price was going to bounce back and forth, probably hit TP, and then fake out to the upside. And that's exactly what happened here. Price bounced around, hit TP. And then at this point, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if price comes all the way back up. So it's a repeat process of what I've seen before. This isn't a new pattern. It's a repeat of what we've seen over and over again. So, but again, I wouldn't take this risk here, right? Like I knew this was probably going to happen, but I wasn't going to take the risk because it's just too tricky. These sessions are areas of manipulation. So if you guys took the trade, nice work, full TP off that breakout V3 continuation. I'm not counting it as an official trade, even though I did mark it up and we did analyze it. I'm only counting the trades that I'm taking myself. So I want to be 100% transparent with you guys. And I want you guys to see, the power of just focusing on quality entries. Like I wouldn't consider this quality, even though it was an entry. I would consider this a risky entry altogether. So I'm gonna take this off and we will continue looking for the next opportunity here. Yeah, Camel said the sessions have been saving his trading, dodge 5 losses so far. Yeah, exactly. These sessions are key, guys. If there's anything that you guys take away from my teaching, it would be these sessions, because you can be applying any strategy. Like you can apply any of my strategies, you can apply any of your strategies, and I'm almost guaranteed if you look at these sessions here, and you avoid trades around the sessions, I'm sure your win rate would go through the roof. Like Camo over here had like a 50-50 win rate. Now his win rate's like 70% or higher now at this point, because it makes such a big difference when looking for risky entries and quality entries. Yeah, exactly. Kenneth said, dang, the V1 rejection and the breakout V3 hit. Yeah, I know. I wish I could have taken them, but they're like right at the sessions here. Yeah, I know. I would have taken them if they weren't there, but it's all good. We'll continue looking for the next entry here, but we just got to be patient. All right. Yeah, Daniel said he sat on it as well because it was touching the sessions. Kevin said the momentum pullback scalp hit, but he didn't take it because it felt risky. And you guys can see right here. So let me go back to my drawing. Let me see if I can pull it back up. You guys saw what I drew earlier? It happened exactly like I drew it, right? So came up, came down, hit TP, came back up, came back down, and then it shot straight up. That's exactly what happened here. Price came up, came down, hit TP, came back up, came down, and then fake out to the top side. So if you guys are on these live sessions, just keep in mind, like we do the same thing every single day. I analyze this and you guys can see here, like, it's just repetition. It's like, I've seen this before, so I drew it because I knew it was going to happen. And then it did play out. It's not always going to happen that way, but for the most part, it usually does because, when you trade one asset every single day for like 5 years, I think we've been trading US30 or YM every day, every morning between 6:30 and 8 for like over 5 years now. So it just becomes it's something that you learn and you never really forget. So if I ever draw a pattern on here, you guys can see, and odds of it playing through are very likely. And that's how I'm able to avoid a lot of these risky type trades. So we have a double body right here, guys. It's setting up for another V1 variation. The only problem with this here is that it's right at the sessions again. So it's in a tough spot. What I want to see here is I want to see price break out of these sessions. Like I'm hoping we get an invalid signal there. Like you see how there's an invalid buy signal. I want that invalid buy signal to close, and I want price to push down here. And when it pushes down here, I want to get a sell signal so that I can take this for a breakout V3 continuation, right? I need price to be around this area down here. I can't have it up here because this is an area of manipulation. So you guys can see like my whole mindset changes when price is in between this area. I know a lot of people try to get FOMO, or they don't try to get FOMO, but they do get FOMO because they see this V1 pattern here and they're like, oh, I really want to take this trade here. But for me, whenever I see sessions, I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to bother because I already know what happens when I trade around the session. This is where I get screwed, right? So just keep that in mind. If you get screwed enough times, I hope that eventually you guys learn from it. I've lost a lot of trades around these places. That's why for me, whenever price gets near them, I just don't even bother looking at the chart. We'll have like our side convos, or we'll do some analysis, we'll do some explanation, but I'm not really looking to enter anything until price actually pushes away from, wherever it's at. Let's see. NM is asking, is there a built-in copier on NinjaTrader? Kind of like Trade08? There used to be. So right now we're on NinjaTrader 8, I believe, NM. On NinjaTrader 7, they had the same thing that Trade08 had, but they don't anymore. I don't know why they took it off, but that's basically what happened. I saw it I saw it somewhere, and that's kind of what people were saying. They're like confused why they don't have it anymore, but they took it off for some reason on the newest NinjaTrader. So yeah, unfortunately, they don't have that on NinjaTrader. You have to get a third-party application. Like what I use is I use the one that I showed you guys, Replicanto, and it works just like Social Trader Tools. So it's the same tool that I use for MC4, which I think is a lot better because you don't have to pay a monthly fee. Like I pay like 200, I think I pay almost $300 a month on Social Trader Tools for all my accounts, which is crazy. It's like I'm paying them just to use their tool. But I make profits from all the accounts, so it's not really a big deal, right? It's kind of like I'm paying for the service. But with Replicanto, it's a one-time fee. So I paid 150 or $200, and then I have access to this copier pretty much for lifetime. So I think it's worth it if you have multiple accounts. All right, so we have a sell signal right here pending. I'm hoping if we get a sell signal, I want it to push below the sessions at least. So I want this sell signal to come up, like at least push down here, so that for the next red candle, it'll just be down here and I can take the entry. But there is that pending sell signal there. I want this to kind of travel down a little further. It's a little too close. And M is asking, okay, I already answered your question. Yeah, I use Replicanto by Flowbots. Flowbots is the developer. Apex has their own copy of it. It's like their own licensed version, but I'm not sure if it only works with Apex accounts. So that's why I bought the actual one from the developer. All right, guys, so we have a sell signal right here. Unfortunately, it's right at the session. So even if we do get a breakout V3 continuation, I'm not going to take the trade. Again, I'll mark it up for you guys if you guys want to take it, but for me personally, I'm not going to take the trade. So if this candle closes red, it's going to be a breakout V3 continuation. It's right at the sessions though. So again, not going to be taking the trade there. Yeah, Sisuk said Apex copier works with Trade08 with MC8. Yeah, no, exactly. That's what it works with. It works with, but I'm not sure if it only works with Apex accounts. So like I don't know if I've tried it with, or if anybody has tried it with a non-Apex account, similar to like the FTMO. Because like FTMO's quick trade manager, you can only use it with FTMO account. So like along the line, if I start to like manage accounts and I start to add people to my copier, I don't want to be stuck with just Apex. I want to be able to use it with with any other account that I open with. Like if I open a Top Step account, or if I open if I open like my own Trade08 account, then I want to make sure that it actually works. So that's why I bought the add-on for like the actual add-on. I didn't buy it through Apex. It costs a little more, but I think it's worth it because you get to have the developer updates, over the years. Let's see, Nick said it will work with any account that you put on NC8. Gotcha. Well, I mean, if Nick confirmed it, I mean, I would do your own due diligence, guys, because I'm not sure if Nick saw the main account was still Apex and then copying to other accounts. Because the main account is usually you can have the Apex as main account and it can still copy to your own to other accounts, right? I'm just saying the main account that it trades off. I'm not sure if Nick realized that it was an Apex account that was a main account or if it was other accounts because I don't want to buy an Apex copier and then along the line I'm like, okay, I'm going to trade a personal account, Tradeovate, and then I try to add it to my copier and it's like, oh, we can't, it's not compatible with that account. So just keep that in mind, guys. I'm glad that people have looked and done their research, but always make sure that you guys check on your own because I don't want you to blame Nick later on. Like later on, you're gonna buy an Apex copier and then you're like blaming Nick because it doesn't work, right? Because like you guys should take responsibility for that. Just make sure. But like the difference is like $10, guys. It's like just put it in this situation. Like if you wanted to get a McDonald's hamburger, right? And then Nick was on the sidewalk and was like, "Hey, I'll give you a McDonald's hamburger for like 20% off, but you're not buying it from McDonald's, you're buying it from Nick." I'm not gonna buy the burger from Nick. I'm gonna go to McDonald's, pay the extra 20%, and then get a legitimate wherever it actually came from. So just use that as an analogy because yeah, that's just the difference. But there's coupons online. So if you look at the actual add-on, like there's coupons online, so you can get it for like 20 or 50% off. All right, guys, I know we're kind of messy around here, but there's no entries for us to take at the moment. Price is still in between the sessions, so don't worry. You guys are not missing out on any trades here. The breakout V3 never came up. There was a sell signal here, a red candle up after it did not close, so there was no breakout V3s. But again, price is just ranging between these areas right here. So there's nothing for us to take here anyways to begin with. So there's nothing to worry about. Price is in between the 4-hour support level, and it's just going back and forth right here. William said, now I'm really hungry for breakfast, non-McD. You can never go wrong with McDonald's. If I ever have a bad day trading, I get some McDonald's and that thing changes everything. McDonald's resolves everything. Yeah, exactly. William said it, but the calories, right? Yeah, you can't beat McDonald's breakfast. And I get so pissed when I miss the McDonald's breakfast for like by like a minute, because different McDonald's have different times for breakfast. One time I had to drive across town just to get McDonald's breakfast because the one near my home closed where they stopped serving breakfast like at 9 o'clock. I'm like, bro, it's too early. So I had to drive to another city just to get McDonald's that serve breakfast till 9:30. Let's see, Mr. Gibbs is asking, is Replicon reliable? Yes, they are reliable. I mean, they're the only copier that's really reliable on NinjaTrader. That's pretty much what everybody uses. If you just look them up, there's like literally everybody uses Replicon. So that's like the main one for NinjaTrader. But again, you should do your own due diligence. So you should go and do your own research, make sure that it's reliable. But from my opinion, I've done my research and I don't try anything that isn't reliable, right? Like I would have never done Apex unless someone I know personally got paid out by them and got multiple payouts. So I know somebody who got paid out, like someone in this group, they got paid out. They got like 4 payouts on 4 different accounts. And they got paid out within like a day. So that's why I started using Apex because I believe that they're trustworthy. So everything I use and everything that I recommend to you guys, I vetted it myself. So I'm not going to recommend anything to you guys that I haven't vetted myself because I'm very skeptical about a lot of things too. That's why I'm very picky with the prop firms that I use and platforms and programs that I utilize. Let's see. All right, guys, so price is starting to climb back up. This is completely fine. We're still in a bearish trend right here. So if price comes back down from wherever it's at, if price climbs up a little bit like right here and comes back down, we'll still be looking for some sells. But at the moment, if price does swing back up, then we might be looking for some buys here, right? So just keep in mind, we're going to keep looking at the chart here, but until we have a confirmation of like direction trend, then we're going to be a little careful with looking for these entries. Let's see, Camel said, haven't been taking my trades, just documenting. Since you taught me about the sessions this month, it's 3 wins, 1 loss, 75% win rate with a 3-to-1 risk reward setup. Yeah, no, definitely, Camel. That's huge. It's a big difference, if you have the sessions to avoid certain entries. CT said markets are semi-neutral and news was positive, so it seems to be in the middle right now. Yeah, and I agree with you too, CT. There's no direction because, so the news earlier over here was positive. The news later today is low impact, so it's not really going to push price anywhere. But the news from pre-market was pretty much positive, and price is just sitting in between. This is news price right here, the pink line. So if price does swing back up, then that is fine there. I mean, that's where price is supposed to go. So if price does correct back up, that's okay because that's where price is supposed to be. So price should be up here at least. You can see over here at 530, this is where price came down. So if price does correct where it's supposed to be, this is where price needs to be. So I'm expecting price to climb up here and climb higher because this is where it's supposed to be. But price is still down here, so it's still climbing up from where it's currently at. Right, it hasn't recovered yet from the news earlier, which should have been bullish to begin with. So yeah, for me personally, if prices swing up here, I'm fine with taking buys because I'm expecting price to push up anyways. And you can see right here that it is climbing up. It's just I'm not going to take that risk and get into a position here right away before price actually, confirms. But if you wanted to take a V1 from down here, you could have taken any V1 patterns from this area down here, and you pretty much could have rolled this up to the news price. Like if you wanted to take that news correction type move, because price never corrected back up, right? So just keep that in mind. But that's not the way that I personally like to trade. Some people like to trade that way, take a risky type trade where you kind of just gamble about anticipating to come back up. And I don't like to trade that way, especially not on these live sessions. If I do trade that way, it's going to be like on a YOLO account, like a small account that I'm kind of just looking to flip. But for the most part, I don't trade like this, especially not on the live, because I think this instills bad habits into people. If you take risky strategies that don't really have much analysis behind them, this is more of a speculative type move. You just look for a reversal pattern and then you write it up. And it works sometimes it doesn't. But I go for something that has a high win-loss ratio and something that's very easy to follow. Because I can't teach you guys something like this. Like people who are experienced can see stuff like this because I already saw it earlier. I saw 2 V1 patterns right here. This is basically a very strong reversal pattern. Whenever you guys see 2 V1s following each other, this is a strong reversal pattern to the upside. But it's not something that's easy to teach people because it doesn't always work out that way. And you have to have other confluences. The big thing here is that the news was positive. So that's why if you tie this in with the positive news, the correction point is going to be up there. Like that's where price should go. But again, there's a lot of moving pieces and you have to kind of understand that yourself before you can really use that to your advantage. Like if I was trading by myself, I probably would have taken some scalps in between here. But on this live session, I don't want to confuse you guys doing stuff that's too complex for, a beginner trader or for someone who doesn't know how to read the charts like I do. Yeah, exactly. CT said, I hate this mix sitting on my hands. And CT is actually one of the people that takes trades like that. So, if CT is sitting on his hands, then you should probably sit on your hands too, because CT typically likes to take these types of trades. He's a seasoned trader, so he knows how to analyze stuff like that. And he was already looking at news for the correction to the upside. And that just kind of went hand in hand with it. I mean, also, if you guys wanted to draw structure here, so here's another thing. So here's another analysis. I showed you the analysis of the V1 pattern. Another analysis here is the fake out, right? Price came down, faked out right here. correction back up. It's just like a big W pattern or a head and shoulders. There's a shoulder here, head, shoulder, push to the upside. So I've been trading for so long that I see a lot of patterns that people don't even realize. Like I can just take a glimpse of the chart. I'm like, okay, there's a head and shoulders here. There's a double reversal right here. There's structure right here. There's support that's pretty much been established, fake out, correction back to the upside. But everything stems back to news. Everything stems back to the 5:30 news this morning, which was right here. Let's see. All right, so the pivots are starting to cross. This is a good thing. Okay, so if the pivots start to cross, what I'm going to be looking for here is I'm going to look for price to retrace back down. So I want price to come up, retrace down, provide something like a W pattern right there, V1 pattern right here with structure, get the double bottom, and then ride this up. That's going to be one of the patterns I'm looking for. The other pattern that I'll be looking for is I'll be looking for price to come down from here like that, right? So I'm looking for a W pattern. I'm looking for like a half W. I want that retracement to come up. Let's see. Mr. Gibbs, didn't you ask this question yesterday, didn't you? I don't know if did you hear my response? So Gibbs, I feel like you asked this yesterday. You asked, what are your thoughts on FTMO not taking US customers anymore? Answer's still the same. The reason why they stopped taking US customers is because you can't trade CFDs in the US. It's always been a rule. It's been a rule since like I think the 1990s. You can't trade US30. Like US30 was never supposed to be allowed to US clients. So that's why they stopped allowing it. If you want to trade US30, you have to trade YM, which is this, the futures, right? That's why we trade Apex. That's why we've been trading on YM, because this is what's allowed in the US. So my thoughts on that is that FTMO, if they're going to resolve this issue, they're probably going to have a separate platform. Like they're just going to have FTMO, but only for US clients. And they're not going to have US30. They're going to have YM. And then you're going to have to trade on something like NinjaTrader because YM isn't carried on MT4. So, oh gosh, you guys. Yeah, because I remember, I don't know if you asked this or somebody else asked that question yesterday. I'm not sure if it was you or if it was somebody else, but someone did ask that question yesterday. But yeah, back to what I was saying, Mr. Gibbs, like basically with FTMO, I think this is probably what's going to happen. They're probably going to create a separate platform just for US traders, and then they're not going to allow US30, NASDAQ, or S&P. They're going to allow futures, which is going to be YM, ES, and NQ. Same thing, it's just futures. That's kind of where I see where things are going. I don't think FTMO is just going to completely drop US clients because they make so much money off US clients, but that's kind of where I see things going. So that's just my thoughts. I don't think they're going to have a resolution anytime soon. I think it's going to be some time until they do. Otherwise, they have to make a lot of changes. But from my perspective, they make so much money from people here in the US that I think they're going to have to make some changes where it'll just be a separate platform. But at that point, I'm already going to be on NinjaTrader, so I'll just add them to my copier, right? Because I have the copier on NinjaTrader, so I can add like as many accounts as I want. So I think at this point, I'm going to be moving towards NinjaTrader, and I'm just going to look for funding companies here in the US where I can just add accounts to this platform. Because MT4 is super dated anyways, so I don't really care for MT4 as much. I'm only on MT4 because I have like a bunch of accounts on them still. So I still have TFF, FTMO, Funded Engineer. So that's going to be I'm just going to be taking trades on there, but I'm not going to be looking to add more MT4 accounts. I'm going to be looking for futures accounts to add onto it. Yeah, no problem, Mr. Gibbs. Sorry, I got you confused with somebody else yesterday that was asking the same question. I thought it was you, but I'm assuming it was somebody else. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Jaws said Apex has trailing drawdown. Yeah, they do. So here's the thing with Apex, guys. The thing with, and again, there's no entries for us available right here, so don't worry. I know we're talking and we're kind of going off topic, but there's no entries here. Once I see a V1 pattern set up here, then I'll start looking for an entry. But at the moment right now, we don't have any V1 patterns. There's no V1 patterns from the top. There's no V1 patterns from the bottom. So until we have this here, there's not going to be any entries for us to take at the moment. But back to what I was saying about Apex. Apex has a trailing drawdown rule, but it's only good for, so the thing with Apex is good with our trading style. If your trading style has a low win rate, so if you're always doing like 1 to 3, 1 to 5 risk rewards with Apex, I think it's impossible to do 1 to 3 or 1 to 5 with Apex. It's just like literally impossible because the way that like exactly what Ijaz was just saying, this is what happens. Like it's so it's so messed up. Like the rule is so crappy because so say for example, you have an entry and we don't have any entries here, guys, but I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So the trailing drawdown sucks if you have like a low win rate or you have like a 1 to 3 risk reward. So check this out, right? If you guys are trying to take a 1 to 3, something like this, right? Or yeah, something like this. Say you're taking a 1 to 3 risk reward. Say if you enter your trade right here and your trade goes in a profit like this, but then it comes down and it stops you out. And say your max drawdown was right here, right? The trailing drawdown that Ijaz was just mentioning is that if you get stopped out right here, your trailing drawdown is going to be right here. So as soon as you take your next trade and you lose the trade, you blew your account. So this is like, it's like almost impossible to trade this way on Apex. That's why this works good for us because the way that we trade is we get in and out super quick, right? So the trailing drawdown doesn't really affect us. Our TP stop loss is like this. So what happens is it hits our TP. And then what happens when it hits our TP? Our drawdown follows. Like say, for example, our drawdown's right there, right? Our drawdown will be like down here. And the drawdown will climb up with it right here. And then when we make the profit, we take another trade and it just keeps climbing with us. So, you know, this works better with Apex. So if you're a scalper and you trade like we do, like you get in and out very quickly, Apex is perfect. Like this is like a gold mine for us because for us, the trailing drawdown doesn't affect us because we're in and out of the position super quickly. But even if you're doing like a 1 to 3, like I just showed you guys earlier, that's how the trailing drawdown gets you because you can't like the drawdown will trail you no matter what. Right. So it's better to like if you're trading on Apex, it's better to get your profit right here because the drawdown will trail you. And then you re-enter for another trade and then the drawdown will just keep following. Because there's no daily drawdown, there's a max drawdown. But you know, if you're trading a risk reward, and also if your risk reward, like if your win-loss ratio sucks, like say for example, that happens to you and you get into a position and say you win one trade and then you lose one trade and then you lose one trade, you're going to be so close to blowing your account that it's kind of it's impossible to really be successful long term. So I think if you're trading with Apex, if you're a scalper or if you go for quick TPs like we do, then it works good because the trailing drawdown doesn't really affect you. But you know, that's the pro and con between it. So yeah, I know it's kind of confusing. You might not have understood what I just said, but there's videos for it. There's videos that kind of explain in detail. Yeah, Kenny said, ouch, people use 1 to 5. Well, the only people that I know that use 1 to 5 are those like Instagram, YouTube traders, right? You see those people all the time. They'll tell you, hey, this entry looks so simple. You just enter from right here and you go for a huge TP and your stop loss is like right there, right? You guys have seen that before. That stuff doesn't really work very often. Like you'll lose like maybe 100 times before you win. And then when you win, you basically just break even. So for me personally, I don't like to lose trades. So I'd rather just get a bunch of like small wins here and there and they add up over time versus having just one big trade to show off to people, right? I see a lot of people do that. It's kind of annoying because it's not realistic. Um, Yeah, thanks for the explanation, NM. So NM over there responded to Chase asking what's a CFD and why it's illegal. It's like so a CFD is basically it means contract for difference, which is like basically a made up asset. Like US30 is not a real asset. It's just a copy of YM. YM is the real asset, and US30 is something that a broker created. So they can manipulate price, manipulate spread, manipulate execution, all that stuff. If you're trading a YM, you can't manipulate this because this data is directly from the exchange. So yeah, that's why it's not allowed in the US because they don't want people getting scammed. I mean, some people beat the system, right? Like I beat the system. Well, a lot of people have beat the system time and time again with these indice company or these offshore brokers, but it just comes into a matter of time until they kick you out or something happens, right? Slippage, bad execution, widespread, etc. All right, guys, so we have the bullish trend now. Now that we have the bullish trend, we'll be looking for possible entry here. We don't have any buy signals of the possible or because of there's no retracement yet. So we need to get a sell signal here to retrace. And then once we get the sell signal, we can start looking for a possible opportunity for a buy position. So at this point, I actually would like price to climb up a little bit higher, retrace down, and then continue up because we have the sessions right here. And this right here is just an area where we don't want to trade in, obviously, the sessions. Yeah, KIPS to the trailing drawdown on a 150K count is 5K. And with an appropriate lot size, the Kodi Kai with Kodi Kai trades, you would have to lose 4 trades without a win to hit the trailing drawdown. Yeah, exactly. And that's why Apex works perfectly well with our trading style because we don't lose very often. Like I think for this whole month, we've lost once. And for this week, we lost once. Well, yeah, this whole year, we've only lost once. So I think we've had 6 wins and 1 loss. So we're in profit for the year. And for this week, I think I'm still around break even because I think I took 1 or 2 trades or I'm close to break even or above it, somewhere around there. So, Kip brings a pretty good point there with Apex. Like if you're using a proper contract size, then it's going to be almost impossible for you to blow your account. It's going to take a while for you to pass, but like it'll probably take a whole month, especially during these types of markets, because you can see there's not that many opportunities here, right? Like for example, today we've been on this live session for about 30 minutes, and there hasn't been 1 entry yet. But I'm waiting for that entry. The entry is eventually going to happen. It's just a matter of time of being patient and waiting for it to come to you. But if you can focus on just 1 quality entry every day, 1 or 2 quality entries, you should be able to pass your Apex within a month at least. Because you think about it, like in a month, there's like how many trade opportunities, right? 5. If you take 1 trade a day, 5 days a week times 4, you have 20 trading opportunities there. If you want to pass your Apex, it's 150K. Or no, sorry. You have to, your goal is 9,000. That's your profit goal. And then every trade, you're going to win about 500. So divided by 500, you need 18 trades, basically 18 wins to pass. So if you just wait for 18 quality trades, like over a month period, you should be able to pass. It might take a little bit longer than a month, but for the most part, it'll probably take within a month's time. And this is being conservative, 1 trade a day. Sometimes you'll have 2 trades, sometimes you'll have 3 trades. But you gotta play the numbers, right? It's a numbers game. That's how trading works. It's all about numbers and probabilities. Yeah, no, you're right. And I just read what you said there. And you're pretty much right for the most part. I mean, there's more details that you can go into, but you have a pretty good gist of like, what a CFD is and why it's risky and why is it not allowed in the US. All right. Yeah, if you guys are on the Zoom, you guys can read the messages that Kip's putting in the chat. He's pretty detailed about like what you should be using. Like for me, I only use 10 contracts on a 150K account. I could be using up to 17 contracts, but I only use 10 because I'm going for that slow roll, right? I'm just going for the slow roll, building the account, growing it, and eventually getting funded, hopefully. I'm doing my accounts in increments of 5, guys, so just keep that in mind. I have 5 accounts right now with Apex, and then when the next sale comes up, I'm gonna do another 5. Because you guys got to keep in mind, if you get funded on 20 accounts, so say for example, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. Once you get funded, you have to pay a $280 activation fee. So right now I have 5 accounts times 280. So once I get funded on all 5 accounts, I have to pay 1,400 to activate all of them as funded accounts, right? For me, that's not a lot of money. I can just, that's fine. I can pay for it. But for a lot of people, that's a lot of money, right? 1,400. If you have 20 accounts times 280, you have to pay 5,600 in an activation fee. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like, don't try to open like 20 accounts with Apex when that big sale comes out, because once you get funded, you have to pay this. Given you're going to make the money back with your profits, but you have to pay this up front to activate your accounts. It's I mean, it's the same as paying for like 20 FTMOs, but they kind of just break down the pricing in a different way, where you pay like $90 to pass, and then you pay the lump sum later once you're actually funded. If you're paying for FTMO, you're paying like 1,000 up front. So it's the same difference. It's just that you're paying the pricing a little differently. So just keep that in mind, guys. I don't want you guys to like open 20 accounts and then all of a sudden you're like, crap, I can't pay for the activation fee. And then there goes your funded account, right? Guys, so there's a V1 pattern right here. This is a little tricky. I don't know if anybody wants to take this trade. It's like touching I don't know if it's touching the structure, but it's really close to it. Maddie, would you take this trade right here? I'm like kind of tempted, but because it's not actually touching it. I mean, it's close to it, but it's not like I would like if the wick was past touching it right there. But this is a V1 pattern right here. Bullish. Yeah, if this candle here closes strong, I'll take it with you guys. So meaning there's little to no wick on the top side. If there's a wick on the top side, I'm just going to hold off, which it looks like there's probably going to be. But if it's a strong candle, like little to no wick on the top end, then I might be okay taking this trade here. Let's see. No, I'm going to skip it because it's not necessarily touching so I'll just mark it up for you guys here. Here's the entry for the V1 variation. There you go, full TP. I don't know if anybody caught it, but this is what we were looking for. So this kind of came down and it rejected off it, but it wasn't like a strong rejection off that point. It was just too like this wick wasn't touching the body. If it was like cutting into the body, then I would have been okay with taking this trade here. But I wouldn't I didn't want to take the risk, obviously. So yeah, Camo said there was a breakout V3 continuation in this direction, but it was against the trend. So I mentioned this earlier, guys. We've learned from the loss yesterday that we want to trade in the direction of the trend. This right here was obviously going against the trend, so I wouldn't have even bothered to look at it. I'm only looking for buys right here. So, all right, guys, if anybody took the V1, this is exactly what I was looking for. So you guys see the pattern here? This is the W pattern that I just mentioned for you guys. Unfortunately, it just didn't play out like exactly how I wanted. I wanted it to pull down further into this actual area so that we have a good rejection. But this is the W pattern that I was mentioning. So basically price came down, came up, came down, came up, and there goes the W pattern right there for the double bottom. The only problem is that it wasn't really a clean double bottom because of the setup right there, but it's okay. I'd rather be safe than sorry. We've already gotten burnt with a fake out this week. I'm not looking to get burnt again. So it's all good. Exactly. Yeah. Kenny said now we can use that V1 as a confluence for the V3. So I would be looking for that. However, I want price to be outside of this session. That's the main thing, right? Here, then we still have the session right there. So I want it to push up here so I can get the entry above this area. You guys can see the ATR starting to die down a little bit. It's fine. Man, as soon as I said that, Kenny, the buy signal came up. I said, I want this to push up here. As soon as I said that, the buy signal just appeared. Okay, so we'll see where this ends up going to. There's a momentum counter scalp that's running right here too. Thanks, Maddie, for mentioning that. I don't know if you noticed that, William. This is one of your favorite types of entries. Sell signal right here, 2 green candles, and this would be considered a momentum counter scalp entry for you guys who know that strategy. And it would have been a full TP right there. One of William's favorites. Yep, momentum counter scalp, MCS. It's William's favorite. That used to be your favorite. You used to call that out like every day. All right, so the buy signal didn't close. I'm hoping if it does close, it's going to break out of this area, like kind of push a little farther past where this session is so that we have some space. And then if we get a breakout V3 continuation, I'll be looking for the opportunity up here. The only problem is that we have news coming up in about 5 minutes. So this is going to be one of the things to look out for and be careful for, because this can cause some manipulation. It's not going to be high impact news, but you still want to be careful for it. It's going to be gas stocks change. Typically, we don't really care about this too much, but I remember a couple months ago, we took a trade when this news event came out. It was a low impact news event, but a lot of people were watching it and it ended up being manipulated. Like we had a huge candle for the low impact news event. So, all right, guys, this market this week is just not really it, which is fine. And there goes the buy signal. So unfortunately, guys, it does not look like we're going to have a breakout V3 continuation right here because it's right at the sessions. Again, we're back to square one looking for an opportunity here. So what I kind of hope happens here is I hope a range happens right at this point. I hope price ranges between this point, comes back down, rejects off here, and then we can get that double body right here, or double rejection, and push to the upside from there. I mean, best case scenario, that's probably what I'm looking for. But yeah, again, like I said, unfortunately, this right here is not going to be useful for us because it is touching the sessions. If you guys want to take it, this is still an entry. It's just a risky entry because it's touching the sessions. I'm not going to take this trade, but again, I'll mark it up for you guys. As you can see, I've marked up about like 3 entries today, which happened around the red flags. They all hit full TP, but with my conservative trading for this year, I'm not taking these risky trades. So there goes the entry right there for the breakout V3 continuation. We had a V1 pattern, buy signal, green candle following it, and here goes the entry running into profit. So if anybody decided to take that, that'd be the entry right there. It looks like it's going to hit full TP, which it did. F my life. This is man, there's a lot of entries that came up. It's just there's a lot of red flags. So it's all good. They all hit. You got to stick to your trading plan. Like I said before, guys, I have a trading plan. So whenever I see these entries, the trades come up, but because it's not meeting my criteria, I don't take the trade. It doesn't matter whether it looks great or not. If it's touching the sessions, I'm definitely not going to take the trade. But you guys can see we had 3 entries here that came up. This one came up full TP. This one came up full TP. This one came up over here full TP as well. But it's all good. This is part of the game. It's really understanding your trading plan and being able to stick to it and being disciplined no matter what. If you want to take risky entries, take all the risky entries, right? Don't take like 1 or 2 risky entries, because what'll happen a lot is you'll take a risky entry and then it'll win. You'll take another risky entry, it'll lose, and then you'll stop taking the risky entries, and then your win ratio is all screwed up, because if you took every risky entry, it would be balanced, right? It's either you take all the risky entries or you don't take them at all. That's the thing that you guys have to understand when taking the trades that you guys decide to trade. Yeah, exactly. And you said habit building. You have to build a habit. Either you avoid all the risky trades or you take all the risky trades. You gotta be on one side or the other, because yeah, you can make a lot of profit. Like for example, you could have taken all 3 risky trades today and you'd be up 3 wins, right? But then you could take that 4th risky trade and you could lose everything. So that'll balance you out back to break even. And at that point, we're going to be on the same level because I haven't taken any trades, and you'll be back at break even. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, Kip said you always forget the pivot scalp. Like the dog in the shelter, it's still good even though you don't want it. Yeah, exactly. The pivot scalp was right there. I know it was right at the sessions though, Kip, so I wouldn't have taken it as well. But the pivot scalp is a good entry, just like Kip mentioned. The pivot scalp is the same pattern. So you guys can see here, it's basically like a breakout V3 continuation, but it happens sooner, right? It's basically the same pattern that we're looking for. It's more of a V pattern. So if you're looking for a breakout, or not even a breakout, you're just looking for a pivot scalp, it's a V pattern. Price pushes up, retrace, continues up. Or what I would consider it is like a double V pattern. So you get a V pattern to the upside, retrace, and continue up like that. So you get a V. So instead of a W, we'll call it a double V. That's basically what it looks like, a V to the upside, V to the downside, correction. Ah, man, this whole week's been kind of frustrating because a lot of the entries that have come up or have been at red flags, it's mainly because the market's been ranging. So let's go back over here to our clean chart. You guys can see over here, I'll draw structure. So you guys can see right here that, unfortunately, the market's been pretty much ranging all week. This is why the market kind of has been sucking. It's been ranging right here, range up here, range down here, come back up here. This is actually the same pattern that played out yesterday. If you guys remember yesterday, we had the same situation. Price kind of ranged for a little bit, broke out, ranged, broke out, ranged, broke out, ranged. So the markets, if you look at this, how it was yesterday, if I had them side by side, they look pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is that yesterday price kind of pushed up heavier, ranged, came back down, ranged, came back up. It's the same thing here. It's just a smaller range. So the range is right here, pushes up, range is right here, pushes down, range is right here, pushes up, again, range is right here. So it's the same thing. It's just a smaller range. It's all good. I know it's kind of frustrating, and this is usually where it starts to build FOMO in a person. Like even myself, I've been trading for so long. I'm good with my discipline, good with my consistency, but it doesn't matter how long you've been trading for. If you see a lot of moves like this happen and you miss out on a lot of them, that's kind of where your FOMO starts to kick in. So let's see, we still have structure right here. So if anything, price can come back down to this area, provide a W pattern, or I mean, it's already at a W right now, and come back down. Thanks, Maddie. Maddie said the news is positive, which is why price pushed up right there. So there we go with news price. If anything, we have some high points right there. Yeah, I mean, price is just ranging right here at this specific area. All right, let's see if we'll have an opportunity here. We need a sell signal in order for us to set up for this breakout, or sorry, not breakout, for a V1 pattern. Okay, so the sell signal came up right there. So here we go with another V1 pattern. So this could be a possible opportunity for a breakout V3 continuation. So we have price kind of pushing up right here. I want this to push up higher, and then hopefully we'll get an entry up here. All right, just don't give us a buy signal yet. Just don't give us a buy signal until price gets past the sessions. That's kind of what we're waiting for. We have a double wick rejection right here. This is a reversal pattern. Price pushed up, came back down. If this here establishes, I'm going to delete this one, and then we'll use this as our confluence. ATR is currently at 16, so it's kind of dying down a bit. All right, this is fine. I mean, if the buy signal pushes up, I want it to actually push up a bit higher. So I need it to push up a bit higher. And there's going to be liquidity coming up here for a retest of that area. All right, so we will be watching for this here. We need the buy signal to close though, so that's going to be a key thing. We need that buy signal to close above the sessions, and then hopefully at that point we'll have the opportunity. But we need that buy signal to close above it so we have some space. You can see right here our price is getting a little manipulated right at the sessions. You guys can see the manipulation happening in real time right there. This is why we don't trade at the sessions. You guys can see how price is kind of faking out around this area. Again, right there, it's retesting the sessions. So I want price to push out of this area, push out right here. And at that point, I'll take my entry. I'm just hoping that this isn't like a pending buy signal for like the next 40 minutes. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm hoping this thing actually closes with the buy signal. All right, so we got this over here pushing up. Let's see if it closes. We got about 10 seconds left on this candle here. Come on, we got 5 seconds for it to push up. All right, perfect. So if this candle here closes green, this is going to be an entry for a breakout V3 continuation. I'll be taking this trade here. I'm just hoping it doesn't close super huge because it's going to be a little risky if it's a little too big. Come on, this thing to wait for us to get into the position before it pushes up. And this thing's starting to push up a little higher. Now it wants to go up, right? Should have waited for us first. Or it did, but this was a pivot scalp too. It was touching the session, so I wouldn't have taken it. All right, we'll have to see how this candle here closes. See how big the candle is. The candle's not too bad, but I don't want it to push up any higher. All right, let's see.
Or
I'm in the position.
order submitted.
And she was like right there, watching it. See where it's at. So my entry happened like right when it closed, which is fine. Pushing up right there. The candle was just a little big though. That was the one thing. There you go. Full TP.
Target filled.
Oh man, that was we were waiting for that there, and it played out perfect. So guys, candle closed out perfect, clean entry, went straight through. This is what we wait for. We wait for these entries to come to us, right? So like I mentioned, there was like 3 or 4 entries that came up, but you just wait for that one entry and it's gonna come and hit you. Like no drawdown, literally straight through. Got some slippage on my copier, but it is what it is. Man, I wish that thing spiked through and gave me good slippage, but it gave me bad slippage. It gave me 500 on like my main account, and then it gave me like 350 on 2 other accounts, and then 450 on my. That's all good. I can't complain. We waited for that trade came, and yeah, exactly. Maddie said, glad we stayed patient, Sean. Yeah, 100%. That's kind of what what happens when you guys stay patient with it. There was slippage across all my accounts though. So I looked over here, I took it on my MT4 and I didn't get full profit on either of them. So the only account that I got full TP on was my main Apex account. I got 500 on that. Everything else I got like 350, 450. On my FTMO, I got 1,960, 1,760. But yeah, guys, there goes the entry. So there goes your one entry for the day, your one almost guaranteed entry to hit. It took a long time, but it came and it played through. So solid profits right there. I'm gonna take a screenshot of all my profits real quick, and then we will I guess we'll wrap this up soon. Let me see. I don't even know how to use this PC. You know, getting a PC, it kind of reminded me how much I like Mac. PC is not really accessible. Like for example, I can't take a screenshot of my account here and then easily transfer it over to my Mac. It's I don't even know how to use this PC. It's not like a Mac where you can take a screenshot on your phone and then post and then paste it on your, because everything's on my Mac over here. So like, for example, if I wanted to post it on my Discord, I would just take a screenshot on my phone and then I'll airdrop it to my Discord. So that's like, thanks guys. Awesome. Yeah. So Kip said, let me bring up that snipping tool. All right, let me see if I can figure this out. This is probably going to be, I don't even have a print screen button on my thing. Oh, no, I see it. Okay, print screen. Okay, this is cool. See if I can do this. Oops. All right, I think I just got to download Discord on my computer. That's what I got to do. It's kind of blurry, but it's all good. Save to my clipboard. Now I got to download Discord. I don't even know what my Discord password is. Let's see if I can figure it out. Um, I even get this. Thanks, guys. No, I appreciate you guys because like I don't know how to use a computer. I haven't had a computer since like high school, and that's like over 10 years ago, or we're not even 10 more than 10 years ago. Um, I like the computer, but I think the accessibility of Mac is just so much easier. Devices. Oh, yeah, scan your QR code. Okay. All right, here, let me take a screenshot of it real quick, and then we'll keep going. But I don't think there's going to be any more entries here for us, guys. So just a heads up in case you guys are wondering if it's time to get off or not. I'll cover everybody's profits and then try to wrap this up. So this was a breakout B2B continuation. Continuation. How do I get to this thing here? Discord. Hoping this works. Oh yeah, worked. Okay, so here is my oh fuck. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. There's no profits right there anyways. It says gross realized P&L. So here's my first apex locked in 500, my second apex 350, third apex 350, my fourth apex 400, and my fifth apex 450. So those are my profits for all of my apex accounts. As I mentioned, I have 5 accounts. I'm building my apex funded accounts in increments of 5. So I'm getting 5 accounts, getting funded, getting paid out, then 5 accounts, getting funded, paid out, 5 accounts, etc. Because I don't want to have to pay that huge activation fee at the end. It just doesn't make sense. I want to build my trade psychology trading with them and then go from there. Yeah, Johnny said Oregon Trail games days back when Windows was a vibe. Yeah, that was the thing back then, right? Oregon Trail. I'm gonna go download that game. Like, is that game still around? They probably have a new version of it. But anyways, guys, there's no entries here right now. There's a V1 pattern right here, but we're not looking for any sells like I mentioned before. There's a low right here, but there's no V1, no double body, no double wick. So I'm not really expecting too much to happen from here per se. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a screenshot of my social trader tools. And then I'll take individual screenshots, and then we'll wrap this up for the day. So guys, if there's any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's getting close to 8 o'clock, and I just don't think anything's going to happen from here until then because it usually doesn't. That's just how the market is. So let me log in so you guys can see all of my other accounts. And it's crazy how many accounts I'm gonna have now because I have a bunch of accounts already, and I'm just gonna keep getting more accounts. All right, so I think I'm back at I'm definitely in profit for the week because we had one loss yesterday, one win yesterday. I think I had a couple of wins before that, so it pretty much covered back at least to break even, if not in profit. But here are my you know what? Let's back off this. This is probably a lot easier to just do it this way. Or no, I'm just gonna post it on my thing. Uh, okay, so let's see. All right, so here are all my other accounts. Okay, so here are my Apex accounts, 500, 350, 350, 400, 450. And then here are my MT4 accounts. My funded engineer locked in 304, my FTMO locked in 1,960, my second FTMO 1,760. My funded engineer number two, 162, my personal account locked in 450. My TFF, I locked in 762, 762, 762, all the same for my TFF. So 762 across all those accounts. So if we were to add this up, this is now with including my Apex. So like, obviously these are in challenge phase, but I just want to show you guys a total of like basically what I'm looking at once these accounts are funded. 304, 1960, 1760, 162, 450, 762, 762, 762, 762. Total profit of 9,734 for the day, pretty much across all of my accounts. We just took one trade, and you guys can see this is like what's possible if you have multiple accounts. And I'm trading on two different platforms, Apex and MT4, or Ninja Trader and MT4. You know, you got two hands, so you can do a lot with two hands. Especially if you're able to just synchronize your clicker. Because all I did was I clicked buy at the same time. So I had my finger on buy on Ninja Trader, and I had my finger on my clicker over here for buy. And all I did was I hit buy with my TP stop loss already set. And you can see how it copies my trades to pretty much all my accounts. So super duper simple right there. Yeah, Kenneth said weird that you got a negative slippage on the spike. Yeah, I was expecting a positive spike, right, Kenneth or Kenny? Because it just never works in our favor. Whenever it's a loss, like yesterday we took the loss, the negative spike was like worse. Today the spike was worse as well, but it's all good. Okay. Just saw your message. But all right, guys. So I think that's it for today. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I don't see anything happening from now until 8 o'clock. It's 7:47 right now. We got about 13 minutes till 8, and I'm not expecting anything here to happen. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm gonna go ahead and just take the individual screenshots of my MT4 accounts, and then I'll probably post them up later. I gotta run because I gotta head down to San Diego. I had to take an hour drive to go down to my dentist. I'm still getting my veneers done this month, so I'll probably have my veneers by the end of the month. But yeah, I gotta drive down to San Diego right now. So wish me luck on this long drive down there. But guys, yeah, just a reminder, if there's any questions, reach out. Otherwise, if you guys are new here and you guys want access to these indicators or our premium group or whatever, if you guys want to just reach out to me, just go to our website, kodikaitrades.com. Again, that's kodikaitrades.com. Click on unlock your free access right here. You'll get access to all of my tags. You can message me on Discord, YouTube, Telegram, wherever you guys want to reach out to me at, and I'll get back to you guys. So, all right, guys, other than that, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session.